Okay, as we get started here, I just want to share a very useful tool with you, and I'll just take a couple of minutes, but I want to share the tool with you and then demonstrate how to use it. So this is the JavaScript console, and it is a tool that is available in many web browsers. In Chrome, you can go to the console by going under the View menu, Developer, and then Developer Tools, but specifically the JavaScript concept or the JavaScript console here. If you open that up, it'll open up on the right-hand side here. And I haven't had any messages to the console yet, but a lot of times if you have errors or anything going on with your page, you'll see it here. But also, you will see now that you can actually send messages to the console as a way of monitoring variables or keeping track of your program. So I've got this basic page here with a heading and a button. Right now the button doesn't do anything, but let's change that to do some things. So I'm going to go into PHP Storm here, and very quickly I'm just going to add a little script here, a little script block between the script tags, and all I've written in here is console.log, and then I've written a string to the console. So if I save that, and then I go back to that page, you can see now the page is reloaded, and that message has been sent to the console. This is very, very useful because now I can do all kinds of things and I can send different variables or pieces of information to the console as a way of testing things or monitoring my program. So let's go back and make this a little bit more complex. And I'm actually going to add an event listener on that button. So I'm going to type document. And at this point, don't worry about remembering all of this information because we'll cover it later in the class. But I'm adding an event listener specifically to that button, my button. You can see here I'm adding it by the ID of the button. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to add the event listener, and I'm going to have it listen for a click. So when I click the button, I want it to do something. And what do I want it to do? I want it to write something to the console. So if I write console.log and then I give it a string, then I can do that. And let's run back here to the page and let's try it out. So if I click the button, you can see it says hello. If I click it multiple times, it doesn't actually write those out, but you can see it's gotten 5 of the same message. So let's do one more thing that makes this even more interesting. Outside of my event listener, I'm going to define a variable, and that variable is going to be called counter, and I'm going to set it to 0. Okay, so I've got a variable called counter, a container that has the number 0 in it. Instead of printing hello, I'm going to print the value of that variable to the console. And then on the next line, I'm just going to add 1. This is the increment operator, which just says increase the value of that by 1. So every time I click that button, it's going to print the number, and then it's going to add 1 to the number. And so what I should have is a very simple counting program now. So if I go back here and I hit click me, you can see that every time I click, it adds 1 and prints the number. And that's just a very simple use of console, but console is something that's very, very useful for you to use. And like I said, if I make a mistake in my program or have something that doesn't make sense, then you will also see errors there. And those errors are often very helpful and can point you to a possible solution. So that's the JavaScript console in just a few minutes.